Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a world constantly pulling us outward toward comparison, competition, and noise. Our days are filled with distractions disguised as urgency, and our minds are often consumed by things that have little to do with our growth, our purpose, or our peace. But what if the very life we're seeking isn't out there at all? What if the clarity, success, and fulfillment we chase can only be found in one place, within? This is not a message about selfishness. It is a call to return to your center, because the greatest loss of time comes not from failure, but from forgetting who you are. And the greatest investment you will ever make is your decision to focus inward, to reclaim your attention, and to align with the creative power of your own mind. This is your moment to stop watching and start becoming, to stop wasting time on what does not serve you, and to finally focus on what does. Let's begin. Imagination is not a daydream. It is not fantasy. It is the very blueprint of reality itself. Everything you experience in the outer world is, without exception, a reflection of the inner world, specifically the contents of your imagination. Your thoughts, your assumptions, your inner conversations, all of these form the substance of your reality long before anything external seems to take shape. Most people use their imagination passively. They replay old stories, relive wounds, fear outcomes, and unconsciously anticipate what they don't want. And then they wonder why life repeats itself in cycles. But the truth is this: nothing happens on the outside that was not first planted within. To focus on yourself means to become aware of what you are imagining. What images do you hold of yourself? What roles do you rehearse in your mind when no one is watching? What do you believe is possible for you, really? Not what you wish, but what you assume. Because assumption held in imagination with conviction becomes creation. When you place your attention on others, on what they're doing, achieving, or thinking, you weaken the very power that could be changing your life. Imagination scattered is potential wasted. Every time you fall into comparison, jealousy, judgment, or gossip, you step out of your own creative authority and begin living in a world that is not yours. But when you deliberately choose to focus on your own inner vision, your own becoming, and your own mental diet, you begin to feel something shift. Life doesn't respond to action alone. It responds to your state of being, your state of consciousness. The world moves to reflect who you are, not what you do to get it. This is not about controlling outcomes or forcing change. It is about understanding that reality is shaped in silence, in solitude, and in the stillness of your own mind. The outer world is a delayed mirror. If you do not like what it is showing you, the answer is not to fight the mirror. The answer is to change what you are imagining. This shift requires discipline, yes, but not in the traditional sense. It is a discipline of awareness. You begin to catch yourself mid-thought and ask, is this what I want to create? You begin to notice the story you're telling yourself throughout the day about your worth, your future, your possibilities, and you rewrite it from. You must dare to see yourself differently before anyone else does. You must dare to feel yourself in possession of what you desire, even if the senses contradict it. The imagination is not bound by time. When you live from the state of your fulfilled desire, you collapse time. You step into a new version of reality, and the world reorders itself to meet you there. But none of this can happen if your imagination is constantly diluted by distraction. If you are always reacting to others, you are not creating from self, you are echoing someone else's life. Stop wasting your time entertaining the outer world when the real power lies in what you dare to hold within. So begin now. Withdraw your attention from what is not yours. Stop looking for proof. Stop chasing permission. Close your eyes, go within, and imagine only what you want to bring into form. Nourish it, trust it, live from it, because the world you experience will rise or fall based on what you continually accept as true in the sanctuary of your imagination. It always begins with you, who you believe you are as the silent architect of your life. Not what you do, not what you have, and certainly not what others say about you, but who you assume yourself to be on a deep, consistent internal level. This is your self-concept, and it quietly governs every experience, relationship, and opportunity that enters your world. Most people are unaware that they are living not from the truth of who they are, but from a version of themselves shaped by past disappointments, social conditioning, and unconscious patterns. They say they want change, but still walk in the identity of the person who does not have it. They affirm new desires while clinging to old stories. The result? Repetition, stagnation, confusion. Nothing in your external world can consistently remain unless it aligns with the concept you hold of yourself. You may stumble into success, love, or recognition, but if you do not see yourself as someone worthy of it, you will either sabotage it, fear it, or lose it. Reality will always reflect the level of identity you've claimed with. To focus on yourself, then, is not just to become more productive or set better goals. It is to examine the root. Who am I being right now? Not in public, but privately, in thought, in feeling, in expectation. What kind of person am I consistently imagining myself to be? Because that image is what life responds to. Every moment you entertain thoughts of inadequacy, limitation, or doubt, you reinforce a version of yourself that cannot receive what you truly want. And this happens quietly, subtly, over time. A few careless thoughts each day become a belief. That belief becomes an identity. That identity becomes your life. Changing your self-concept is not about ego. It is about alignment. It is recognizing that the version of yourself that lives in fear, that hesitates, that plays small, that version was learned, not born. And what was learned, it can be unlearned. What was assumed can be reimagined. Start with awareness. Begin noticing how you speak about yourself, even when joking. Observe how you think about your abilities, your future, your worth. Are you assuming that you are capable, that you are valuable, that things can go well for you? Or are you subtly affirming struggle and unworthiness with every passing thought? You cannot attract or sustain anything greater than the identity you occupy. Life cannot give you what you are unwilling to become. So the question is not, what do I want? The question is, who must I become in order to receive it? Not in some distant future, but now, in thought, in feeling, in posture. This is the deeper meaning of a focus on yourself. It is the daily commitment to live from the identity of the person you intend to be. It is the refusal to engage with anything, external or internal, that contradicts your chosen self-image. It is the willingness to act, speak, think, and feel in harmony with the version of you that already has what you desire. This takes courage, because to step into a new self-concept means releasing the comfort of the old one, even if that old identity has kept you safe, familiar, or accepted by others. But that safety is an illusion. The only real security is living in truth, and your truth is not small. You do not become who you are by accident. You become who you are by assumption. Choose wisely, choose consciously, because your self-concept is not just a reflection of your life, it is the seed. Nurture it well and everything else will follow. Every experience in your life began with your attention, not your action, not your effort, your attention, where you consistently direct it, what you mentally dwell on and what you emotionally invest in, all actors. These seeds don't disappear into the void. They grow quietly, steadily, and often without your awareness, until they blossom into circumstances, feelings, and outcomes that seem to arrive by chance. But nothing truly comes by chance. What you focus on, you feed. And what you feed begins to grow roots in your reality. This is why your attention is not just a passive tool, it is creative. It builds your world from the inside out. So the question becomes, where is your attention? If your days are spent consumed by the noise of others, their lives, their opinions, their judgments, then you are scattering the very power that could be transforming your own life. Attention is a limited currency. You cannot afford to spend it on what drains you. Every time you focus on drama, comparison, or complaint, you are not just wasting time. You are planting seeds that will return to you in kind. This is not about ignoring reality. It is about becoming the conscious chooser of what you allow into your mental and emotional space. You do not have to engage with everything presented to you. Not every invitation deserves your energy. Not every distraction is harmless. Some distractions are designed to keep you small, reactive, and disconnected from your true power. When you begin to recognize that your attention is the beginning of all creation, you stop giving it away so freely. You become intentional. You begin to ask, does this support the life I'm creating? Does this align with the person I'm becoming, or is this just noise keeping me from my own vision? And once that shift happens, once you begin to honor your attention as sacred, something changes in your life. You begin to feel more centered, more grounded, more capable of focus. You become the observer of your own mind, not the victim of it. And that awareness alone can alter the trajectory of your life. Because focus is power, and power, when directed wisely, brings results. Let this be clear. Your future is not built only by what you consistently give your attention to. You can work hard, but if your mind is consumed by doubt, fear, or unworthiness, your results will reflect that. The soil of your mind must be fertile with belief, clarity, and intention if you want anything meaningful to grow. That is why you must protect your attention as you would protect your most valuable possession, because it is. Your peace depends on it. Your creativity depends on it. Your entire sense of fulfillment depends on where you place this subtle but powerful force. Do not underestimate how deeply your attention influences your life. What you read, what you listen to, who you surround yourself with, the stories you entertain in your head, all of these are shaping you more than you know. You do not need to control every external condition. You need only to master where you look, where you listen, and what you accept as true. From that simple act, new worlds can emerge. So start planting with care. Let your attention fall only on what you wish to experience more of. If you want peace, attend to peace. If you want growth, attend to growth. If you want to rise, focus only on what lifts you. Everything else is a distraction from the life you are here to live. Your attention is the seed. Your reality is the harvest. Choose your garden wisely. Discipline is often misunderstood. Many associate it with restriction, punishment, or the harsh denial of pleasure, but real discipline, the kind that transforms lives, doesn't imprison you. It frees you, not because it forces you into rigid structure, but because it trains your mind to stop reacting and start creating. But that design cannot take shape while your focus is scattered. Your self-concept is unclear, and your attention is surrendered to things that do not serve you. You must reclaim your mind. You must decide deliberately and daily to choose yourself. Focus is not selfish, it is sacred. Every moment you commit to your inner world, every time you choose to think deliberately, to imagine boldly, to feel deeply, and to discipline your attention, you are creating the foundation for a life of peace, purpose, and fulfillment. Stop waiting for something or someone outside of you to change. Stop giving your time, your energy, your creative power to what distracts, diminishes, or delays you. You are the beginning of everything. And when you finally choose to focus on yourself, not as an escape, but as an act of creation, your life begins to reflect who you really are. So step away from what is not yours, return to the center. And remember, you are not here to react, you are here to create. Focus on yourself, stop wasting your time, and begin.